Hey, you. Yeah, you. Happy Sunday. Well, unless you're watching this video on a different day, like you didn't see it when it came out on Sunday. But if you're seeing it on a different day, then happy whatever the day it is you're seeing it on. Good to see you. Before we get into the video, I had a quick question. Are you a sub or not? Not that you have to subscribe or anything yet. I'm gonna earn it later. But if you are, I'm just curious how YouTube gives these videos out, because the analytics are, well, vague, I guess. So I'm just curious. If you're a sub, if you saw this video by being a sub, comment below sub, and if you're not a sub, then you can comment not a sub, but I am now, or just whatever. Anyways, thank you. That would be very helpful. So let's get into the video now, and let me earn that subscribe if you're not. Will Simpson here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go over some random tips and tricks that not many people know, but are actually really helpful. They're really simple, and I find myself using them all the time. And they're the ones that I use all the time, but I never really explain because they're just so simple, but I've never seen anybody else explain them either. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get into Lightroom and get started. The first one is a quick zoom. Now, everybody knows that you can zoom in and out of your image by pressing Command or Control plus or minus. But did you know that you can just simply press and hold Command or Control? I'm using a Mac, so I'm not sure what the corresponding key is, but for a Mac, it's Command. I believe it's Control on a PC, but you might have to find it. Anyways, press Command, and you get this little square with a plus sign. If you then drag a square over where you want to zoom in, you will zoom in to that area. Now, let's say you want to zoom out, you simply just release Command or Control. I'm going to just say Command or Control, but if it's not, don't hate me. And then just click on the screen. So let's say you wanted to zoom in on your subject. Press Command or Control, push and hold, and then draw a square over your subject and zoom in. Now, as a little bonus tip, let's say you're zoomed in. Well, you can click on the screen and zoom out, but you can also press the space bar and zoom back into that exact zoom you just did. But if you're zoomed out, if you click anywhere on the screen, you can zoom in to that exact zoom in that you just did. So those are super quick ways to zoom in and out of your screen without without having to go plus or minus, and it's very tedious. Simply Command and Control, draw a square, boom, zoomed in, click, boom, zoomed out. Super simple. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, the next one is kind of funny. You might know about it, you might not. It's called Auto Advance. It's for when you're going through your photos and selecting the ones that you want to edit. So let's say we have our timeline down here, right, of all our photos. I click on the first one, and let's say I want to give it a star rating. I want to say, yeah, I like this one. So I press 1 on the keyboard, and that gives me a star. But you'll notice that it doesn't move forward. I'm still on the same photo. So then I press the arrow key to the right, and I move over to the next photo. Now I give it another star, let's say 1, and then I click the arrow key and go on to the next one. Now there is a feature in Lightroom called Auto Advance, which is freaking delicious. If you can do it the hard way, but I'm just gonna skip the hard way and show you the easy way. If you just turn on caps lock, now when you give the photo a rating, it'll automatically move to the next photo. So now if I give this photo a rating of 1, you'll notice that it automatically advances, if you will, to the next photo. Then I give this rating a 2, this photo a 2, moves to the next photo. Give this photo a 0, moves to the next photo, so on and so forth. Now, when you're done and gone through all your photos, simply turn off caps lock. Caps lock is off now. And you press a rating again, let's say 1, and now it doesn't move forward again. Now, if you want to go backwards, just press the arrow key to the left, to the back, and you move back, whether Auto Advance is on or not. But that is a super fast way to help cull through your photos. You're welcome. Let's go on to the next one. But first, before we go on, I am super excited to announce that my Lightroom course that I've been working on for like 6 months is in its testing stages, and it should be out within the next week. If you're just seeing this video in the next week from it coming out, it's probably already out. But it is called Lightroom Master of Editing, and I am super excited. This course, if you like these little tips and tricks, I have all of them in there. If you are unfamiliar with the basic panels, I have all of it in there. If you want full start to finish edits, I have all of it in there, including raw files and more. This course I have put together, I have literally taken my knowledge, my very vast knowledge of Lightroom and put it all in this course. So it is not, I did not I did not skimp on the course. Literally, whether you are a beginner, intermediate, advanced, or you haven't even touched Lightroom, this course will be for you. So I will link it in the description for you to check out, but I'm super excited for it. So I hope you enjoy it. If you ever wanted to get a course on Lightroom editing, not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's good. It's good. Okay, let's get back into the video. The next little trick is called virtual copies. Now this is Lightroom Classic only, not Lightroom CC, and this is actually a really amazing feature. Virtual copies is you create a digital copy of the image that uses the same raw file that you're working on. So you have two images that you can edit separately, but it allows you to not have an extra raw image. It's a raw file, so it saves a lot of space. It's phenomenal. So let's go to this photo here, and let's say you wanted to do another edit of this, but you didn't want to ruin this one. Well, you could export it, but then if you change the edits, you don't know where you were, and yeah. Anyways, so all you have to do is right-click on the image, go to create wherever it is, create virtual copy, and click that. You'll notice right next to it, a new image appears, and you'll notice over here that it says copy 1, right? So this is CR2, which is the raw file for Canon, and this is copy 1, so this is a virtual copy. So now you can make whatever edits you want to this. Let's just go down here to this preset here and slap that baby on and warm it up and make it look different and lower the clarity and give a nice little edit. But now we have this edit and this edit here. So we have two separate edits with all of the edits and no changes, and it's so much faster. I use this a lot with black and whites. Let's say I create a color version of this photo and I'm like, I love it, but I want a black and white version. Well, I'll create a virtual copy. I'll make it black and white by pressing V on the keyboard, make my tweaks and adjustments, and then if I want to export both, I select them both, right-click on them, go to export, and export them, and I get two copies rather than, say, not having the virtual copy, exporting this one here, and then making it black and white, and then exporting it again. It's a pain in the butt. And you can create as many virtual copies as you want. Like, there's no limit. And then the better thing, if you want to delete it, click on the virtual copy, press delete, remove from Lightroom, and you still have the raw file. So virtual copies are a lifesaver, and let me tell you, you'll learn to love them. But let's go on to the next one. Okay, the next two have to do with masks. So one thing that I found really, really annoying when I was in masks is that zoom feature that I talked to you about, where you press command or control and zoom in like that. You can't do in masks. Let's say I want to add some masks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the mask panel. I have all of these masks here, but let's say I want to adjust the brush. Let's just make a brush here, create mask brush, and let me just brush here just so we have it. Let's say I want to adjust that, but I want to zoom in. If I press spacebar on the keyboard, press and hold spacebar, it gives me the last zoom that I previously did. So you remember I zoomed out last, right? So if I click this, I'm going to zoom out. If I click it again, this is still holding spacebar, I zoom back into full screen. But I want to zoom in. So the easiest way to do this is you could press Command or Control plus sign, and zoom in. Then, when you're zoomed in, press and hold the spacebar, and you can move around that zoom. But now that I've zoomed in to this point, if I press spacebar again and click, I will zoom out. But now I can press spacebar again, click anywhere on the screen, and zoom in to that exact screen without exiting the masks and zooming in again. It seems complicated, but it's a little bit faster than Command or Control plus and minus. So now I can just zoom out, zoom in and out at will. So that's just an easy way to zoom in and out when you're in the masks. Now let's say you're editing something and the color of the overlay, you see how I have green on this brush? The color of the overlay is matching. It doesn't stand out. You can't really see it. Well, rather than going over here to the box and changing the color, you can simply press Shift O and you will cycle through colors of masks. So for example, if I click on the box, you'll see these colors right here. So I'm cycling through those colors. Notice how, let's say I choose the white one here, I can't see that overlay. So I press Shift O on the keyboard and I can cycle through till red when that pops really well, or green and that pops really well. So that's just a quick way to change the mask overlay so you can see it. That way you don't have to go through the whole thing of going and changing the colors and whatnot. Anyways, that was a twofer. It was technically two, but I ran it together to one. Now we got two more. But first, I hope I've earned your subscribe if you weren't subscribed at the beginning. But if you're not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button really quick. Hit the like button because it really, really helps the video. And let's go on to the last two, which have to do with awesome stuff. Okay, so the first one is, let's say you've made all of these edits. I've edited this entire photo and it looks fantastic, but there's something wrong with it. I'm not sure what. So if you go onto this basic panel here, right, and you click these eyes, you can actually see the before and after of each of these panels. So let's say I didn't like this tone curve right here. Or, no, that's fine. Let's say I like the tone curve, but I don't like something in the basic. Something in the basic is throwing the image off. So you open the basic panel and you want to reset some of this, right? But you don't want to click this reset button, because if you click this reset button, you go back to the full raw image where it started. And that is no good. So let's press Command or Control Z to undo what I just did. And so how do you reset things? Well, you could go slider by slider and double click on each slider and it will reset each one individually. But you can also, I'm undoing all that. You can also push Option on the keyboard. Again, I'm using a Mac, so I think it's Alt or Option. And you'll notice that now, see right here, it says white balance, tone, presence. If I push and hold Alt or Option, it now says reset tone, reset white balance, reset presence. The Alt or Option button, while holding it, allows you to reset certain sections of the editing panels, not the entire thing. So let's say I didn't like the tones, I reset that, and now I've reset just this panel here and kept everything else. I'm gonna undo that, and I'm gonna go into tone curve. Same thing applies here. If I press and hold Alt or Option, reset. I can reset just this section. If I go into the color mixer, same thing. If I'm in the hue, I can reset the hue, I can reset the saturation, I can reset the luminance. Up here now, they have the reset mixer, so I can reset the entire HSL without affecting the point color. This is a really, really good feature to find where you feel you've messed up, undo it, and make the edits again. And that's number 6, which I really like. I hope you do too, but let's get on to number 7, which is even cooler. It surprises me how many people actually do not know about this. And that's how to sync edits throughout images. So I have this entire timeline of images. Let's say I love the edit that I have on this one. Well, I can press Command or Control C and copy my edits, right? And then paste them on other photos. But let's say I just want to copy this entire section, all of these photos with the same edit. Make sure I have this photo selected, press and hold Shift, click as far as I want, let's say to number 11, this photo here, go to Sync, and then I choose all the settings I want. This is generally what I choose. I usually don't have healing, crop, lens correction, or transform, but everything else. I press Synchronize. It'll ask to replace the masks. I have masks on other ones here. I'm just gonna press Cancel, but if you wanted to replace all the masks with the masks on the current edit, you press Replace. If you wanna add the masks together, you press Merge. And that's it. It'll synchronize all of those photos with that same edit, and it's so freaking fast. It'll save you so much time. If you're editing client work and all the photos are relatively the same, like you're shooting at a beach or a park, and all the kind of the lighting and settings all the same, and you want the photos to match, that is the fastest way to edit through so many photos, and you just sit there and twiddle your thumbs while the progress bar goes, or go have some popcorn, or I don't know, something fun. Anyways, that is the coolest way to edit so many photos and saves you so much time. But that's it for all of these freaking tips. I hope at least one of them made a difference for you. If it did, well, I know it did. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, because come on. I totally earned it. I totally earned it. I hope. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you hit the bell because that is a very, very important thing. And hopefully I'll see you in the Lightroom course. But anyways, YouTube recommends you go watch this video next, but I think I personally would recommend you go watch that video next. And if you want to subscribe, you can easily just click that button. Hope you had a great time. I'll see you in the next video.